In the early days of medieval Europe, when kingdoms were carved by swords and ruled by rival kings, one woman's quiet faith changed the course of history. Saint Clotilda, a Burgundian princess turned Frankish queen, lived a life marked by tragedy, courage, and unwavering devotion to God. This is the remarkable story of the woman behind a king and the saint who helped shape a continent. Saints. Clotilda's early years were filled with both privilege and peril. She was raised in a court torn by rivalries among her uncles, the sons of King Gundioch, who had divided Burgundy among themselves. In the turmoil that ensued, only Clotilda and her sister Crona survived. They were taken to live under the protection of another uncle, Godegisil, in Geneva. Though surrounded by instability, Clotilda was raised in the Catholic faith and nurtured by a strong belief in God. Her heart held a quiet strength, forged through suffering and tempered by devotion. Her beauty, intelligence, and nobility of spirit became known beyond Burgundy, catching the attention of one of the most powerful pagan kings of the time, Clovis I, King of the Franks. In 493, Clovis sent envoys to ask for Clotilda's hand in marriage. Many cautioned her against such a match. Clovis was a fierce warrior, a worshiper of pagan gods, and a man known for conquest. But Clotilda saw something more. She believed that through love and faith, she might be the one to bring the light of Christ to the Frankish people. With courage and conviction, she agreed to marry Clovis on one condition: she would be free to continue practicing her Christian faith. Their marriage was a union of two great destinies. Clotilda moved to Soissons, where she became Queen of the Franks. From the very beginning, she used her position to quietly influence her husband. She bore him children, and she insisted they be baptized, despite Clovis's resistance. When their first son died shortly after baptism, Clovis blamed the Christian God, but Clotilda remained resolute, baptizing their second son as well, who lived. Her patience and unwavering faith began to soften the heart of her husband. We're so grateful for your support. As you know, creating high-quality content takes time. We simply can't keep this going on YouTube revenue alone. That's why we're asking for your help. If you believe in what we're doing and want to see this channel continue to grow, please consider supporting us through Patreon or PayPal. It helps us produce new videos and series. Together, we can continue spreading God's Word. The true turning point came during a brutal war against the Alemanni. As the Franks teetered on the brink of defeat, Clovis, desperate and uncertain, he called out to the God of Clotilda. "If you grant me victory," he prayed, "I will believe in you and be baptized in your name." At that moment, the tide of the battle changed. The Frankish army rallied and triumphed. True to his word, Clovis sought baptism. On Christmas Day in 496, in the cathedral at Reims, he was baptized by Bishop Remigius, along with 3,000 of his warriors. Clotilda stood beside him, her eyes full of tears, not of sorrow, but of triumph. Her prayers had been answered. The King of the Franks had become a son of the Church. With that baptism, the history of France changed forever. The land would come to be known as the eldest daughter of the Church, and Clotilda was its spiritual mother. After Clovis's death in 511, Clotilda's role in court changed. No longer queen consort, she withdrew from political life and moved to Tours near the tomb of Saint Martin. There, she devoted herself to prayer, charity, and acts of penance. Her later years were shadowed by grief as she witnessed her sons, who had inherited portions of Clovis's kingdom, fall into bitter conflict. One son turned against another, and war broke out between them. Clotilda tried in vain to make peace, but the hatred between them was too deep. Even in sorrow, she remained a figure of grace and mercy. She founded churches and monasteries, gave alms to the poor, and lived a life of simplicity and humility. Clotilda never sought power, but wielded it wisely when it came to her. Her heart had always belonged to God. She passed away peacefully on June 3rd, 545 in Tours. Her body was brought back to Paris and buried in the Church of Saints Peter and Paul, now known as the Church of Saint Genevieve, which she and Clovis had founded together. The people who remembered her mourned the passing of a queen, a saint, and a mother to the faith. Her feast day is celebrated on June 3rd. Saint Clotilda is now honored as the patron of brides, widows, parents, and the exiled. Saint Clotilda's story is not merely one of royalty and religion, it is the tale of how steadfast love, quiet strength, and a faithful heart can change the course of history.